Assistant Professor, Section of Global Health and International Emergency Medicine, Director of Global Health Research, Wellness Officer, Department of Emergency Medicine at Yale School of Medicine. But you added some other things. You got some other titles that we could not fit on the poster. You started a foundation. So tell me about that, Dr.
Right. So there's an organization that I co-founded with a group of other U.S.-based Kenyans called Kenyan Doctors USA. We are a group that think that it's important to provide clinical care or whatever our roles are back in the U.S., but are also extremely passionate, driven, and intentional about our focuses in Kenya and partnering in Kenya to advance research, clinical, and education efforts here as well.
There's a doctor I need to introduce you to. He just got back. He also left just after high school. He went to med school, did his residency, whatever. He's a pediatrician and internal medicine specialist. You need to meet him because I think you guys would vibe. He didn't go to Rusinga.
Absolutely.
I think he went to
we love
Alliance.
other schools, guys.
Yeah, other schools are all right. Other schools are all right. Okay, so he went to Alliance. He's a smart guy.
Yeah.
I'll introduce you guys. Parting words because I gotta let you go. The ladies are waiting to get in. Advice for anybody wanting to get into these schools or any doctors wanting to practice outside, because my pediatrician, whom I love, is moving to the US to run like a restaurant.
Oh,
because you got to start all over again, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So he's an amazing guy. Dr. Hussein, shout out to you and everybody at MP Shah. He's still going to consult for me, though. That's his telemedicine. Remember I said you telemedicine. Maybe we should end with that. Telemedicine, telehealth. What do you got to say?
Sure. So just a reminder that, set your goals high and, mentor, get people around you to support you. Ms. Otieno already offered her services as a consultant for interviewing skills. All along the way is really making sure you're surrounding yourself with people to support you on those goals. And really the sky is the limit. I think it's, punny, but important. And also it's important to remember to pull those up behind us as we continue. That includes last mile populations, more junior individuals hoping to get into these roles. Telemedicine is one way to get to reach last mile populations. Our mobile phones in our hands that we now carry around all the time for M-Pesa are a powerful tool for public health. I'm so glad that the government currently of Kenya is thinking about leveraging how we leverage e-health, how we leverage mobile health technologies for public health. And I think a lot more to come on that. A lot of great organizations starting to work on that. But yeah, I think it's something to look forward to for many organizations working in this space and myself as well.
NCD, cervical cancer. Cancer Awareness Month is coming up, especially with World Cancer Day on the 4th, next Saturday. So someone asked me a question regarding cervical cancer because it starts off as something that can be managed, can be treated. But sometimes, like you said, with the last mile, they just don't have the tech. They just have the facilities to diagnose whatever the issue is. And by the time they do get help, it's at a stage where, more or less nothing can be done. So how are we able, I know you're working with MOH on certain things, to leverage e-medicine and telemedicine in order to try and manage some of those things?
Great. First of all, shout out to the NCI Cancer Summit next week, February
Doctor
2nd to the 4th. Yes.
Yeah.
It's going to be an incredible experience, bringing together stakeholders, not just in government, also in private sector, patients, people with lived experiences, some of us academics, to really think intentionally and set strategies and priorities for how we targeted this in our country in Kenya. But
Dr. Dr. Lois Nyanjao,
my close colleague and friend, also a fantastic woman.
Next Saturday.
I love it. Must tune in for that. All the women and people who care about women. So everybody. It's going to be a really incredible meeting, and I'm super proud of NCI Kenya for doing that. Cervical cancer, there are actually a lot of opportunities for ambulatory screening, meaning tests that don't have to necessarily be done at a high-tech institution. In fact, that can be done at home by women that have been developed for exactly this particular population. The most important message I think to take away from this today is for women to get screened in whatever way possible, accessing a provider, especially if one has symptoms, pain, abnormal changes with regards to all the normal things that happen with our bodies as it pertains to that area. Coming forward early is important. Early screening and early diagnosis is the key.
I'm going to ask you a personal question.
Sure.
You can plead the fifth. All right.
Yeah.
Did you get the HPV vaccine?
I didn't because I was too old. When it was back up, when it was being given routine, by the time it was being implemented to be given routinely to young girls, I had already aged out of that. Okay. I was not one of those young girls, but I'm so glad that you mention it as an opportunity now. I'm not sure exactly of availability in Kenya, but if you do have access to get the HPV
the governor
vaccine
of Nairobi, whom I must shout out to, the Honorable Johnson Sakaja, posted something on his WhatsApp status. Usually I ignore them. I'm just kidding. I look at every single status update. Sucks. No, but seriously. And it was about HPV and awareness, and the fact that yesterday they had like a drive to get screenings, vaccines. So that there is the potential for that here. And he really wants to emphasize that vaccines work.
Yes.
Cervical cancer can be managed, it can be prevented.
Exactly.
And I really like that championing of that by the governor.
It's young girls,
10 to 15.
Exactly. In that 11-13 range, especially before encounters or the potential for acquiring the most common forms of HPV that cause cancer. It's a virus that causes the cervical cancer, are acquired. So absolutely, if there's a campaign nearby and hopefully something that is implemented nationally, that will be chef's kiss.
Wonderful. All right, Daktari, a pleasure. First but not the last. Besties. So it's you, Senior Counsel Zanabaru Jan Mohammed, Gina Din. Yeah, women
Love
that I'm
her. She's
acquiring.
great.
She is, right? She kissed my cheek.
Aw.
I never washed it. It's just going to be there forever. Anyway, I got to let you go. Got to let the ladies in. Enjoy your weekend. We're going to meet up at the Tribal Chic on the 4th.
The 4th. See you there.
You have a frock? I'm going to hook you up.
I'll find one.
I'm going to hook
Thank
you up.